Alrighty, we are recording. Welcome to our Thursday team call at a special time. I get it. And everyone always shows up like 5 minutes late. It's cool. I understand. It's fine. And I am really excited about tonight's call. I was just saying this like before we started recording, but I think that this is like the perfect time of the year to talk about making shit happen now, like actually doing the things. You leave Summit, there's all this hype, you have goals that you set in January, and then it gets to halfway past the year and those goals start to become diluted. Like elite becomes premier becomes diamond becomes well maybe. And it's like, no. And I feel this literally I think is like the perfect timing. I have heard nothing but good things about this human. I have met this human. I have heard this human speak live. His name is Josh Coates. So if you guys don't know, his job is basically to mentor top coaches. He's worked with over 10 top 10 coaches, so top 10, and superstar, 15-star diamond coaches. 15-star is the highest rank that you can achieve as a coach. So he's worked with like the top of the top, helped them get there. So he mentors them. He's also the host of he sent me the name of his podcast, which I'm going to subscribe to. Your Push Coach podcast. And he's as well an author, which I didn't know, Clarity and Focus for Entrepreneurs. The one thing that I did know is he is part of the John C. Maxwell family, which John C. Maxwell is like my favorite author of all time. So that speaks to my heart. But you know what I love about him? He's no bullshit. And my coach, Mandy, as well as Melissa and Mick, spoke at his event, The Power of I Am. I had spoken at it 2 years ago with my coach, Emily. And he is one of the most genuine, amazing humans. I heard nothing but good things from Mandy about how real he was, how accepting he was, and how awesome the event is. So I'm really excited for you guys to hear from him tonight. His job is to mentor coaches and make shit happen. And he's mentored many of my own friends, many people that were in Greece with us. So that's why he's here, because I heard some really freaking good things. So I'm going to promote Josh to panelist and host, not someone else, and then I will allow you to speak. Just give me 2 seconds so I don't mess it up. Change rule to make co-host so that things work. And then I'm going to stream this like an adult into the group. Hi!
What's going on?
I'm so excited right now.
I had no idea that you were doing the webinar version of Zoom, so I like joined and I'm like, what's going on? Like, I can't see anybody's face. I just updated my Zoom like a couple days ago. I was like, so there we go. I update my Zoom and now nothing works. I'm going to be on this call. No one, like my video. So anyways,
no, you're good. Bitches be cray and people unmute themselves and talk. So I had to upgrade and get the webinar version.
Totally get it. Like when I do my webinars, I'm like, mute everybody. No one's allowed to unmute. Someone shared screen on my call the other day. I was like, what's happening right now, guys? Like, do we know how this works? Like, you're all Beachbody coaches. Just don't push the freaking buttons. So hey, guys, I'm here. I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me. Thanks for the awesome intro. I appreciate it.
Oh, well, thank you. I'm going to let you do your thing. I will be on listening and taking copious notes.
Sounds good. So I can't see anyone's face other than Angie's, obviously, but we've got a chat over here. So here's what I need. I need lots of energy. I shouldn't say I need lots of energy, because whether you bring it or not, I'm going to bring it. But what I want is for you to also bring energy, because you only get out what you put in. Okay. So I'm going to ask you to put something in tonight. I'm going to ask you to put some skin in the game. You've put a little bit of skin in the game. You sacrificed an evening. You've sacrificed, I don't know, whatever the hell's on Netflix right now to be here with us. So glad Angie opened up with some F-bombs. Like, I always try to feel out the call when I hop on. I'm like, can we do this? Okay, good. So we're good to go on that. But you need to invest your energy, because energy is everything, guys. Energy is legit everything. It's one thing to show up. I talk about this formula in my Push Mastermind, getting a little ahead of myself, but it's called consistency plus intensity plus worth plus time. And it is the way that you get anything you want in life, okay? And we've all heard, show up every day, show up every day, show up every day, show up. Well, here's the thing. I preach this. That's not enough. There's a whole lot of people who show up every day. In fact, I travel around the country speaking for Super Saturdays. And a lot of the times when my shoulder's not screwed up, I do workouts with people. And I look around the room and I realize that 90% of the people in the room don't work out every day the way I work out. Because like 90% of the people in the room are taking breaks every 2 minutes. And I'm like, do we all do this workout at home or not? Like, do we actually do this? Which tells me showing up every day isn't the full equation. And if we allow ourselves to think that, we're tricking ourselves and we're cheating our family and anyone else we say we're all in and asking them to make sacrifices for us. So I need some energy. So over here in the chats, I want to see emojis. I want to see dude, I love exclamation marks, by the way, for me personally, in my own personal notes. Thank you, Allie. That was the best. In my own personal notes, even to myself, I put specific words in all caps with like 100 exclamation marks, okay? It's just the way I communicate. So give me exclamation marks, give me emojis, because tonight I want to teach you what I think, for me personally, has been the single most valuable thing that I have learned. And when I say learned, I don't mean just the thing that I've done. I mean the thing that I've taught. I mean the thing that I've actually watched people do and seen it transform their lives. So tonight's call, like the subtitle that I sent Angie was something along the lines of more results, less time. Okay. Can I see some emojis if you're on the call and you're like, dude, if you can give me more results without asking me to give up more of my time? Like what if I could make like 10 times the amount of money I'm making right now without sacrificing any more of my time? Is anybody in for that? Because that's what I'm going to teach you how to do tonight. I'm going to teach you. All right, we got some fuck yeses. We got some people excited. That's what I want to hear, okay? We got some people excited tonight. We're going to do this thing because I'm going to teach you the thing that has literally just transformed businesses. I'm talking girls who were barely hanging on to diamond going elite by summit. I'm talking girls who were barely making $1,000 a month, 12 months later making $6,000 to $8,000 a month. I'm talking like people have literally blown up using this one simple thing. Okay, are you ready for it? You ready to take some notes? Okay, so I want you to write down in all caps. I want you to underline this word like 30 times. I want you to highlight it pink, purple, green, yellow, unicorn, every color you got, okay? You already know the word. It was in the title, but the word is urgency. The word is urgency. Urgency is about to change your life forever. So in about 2016, at that point, I'd helped 2 different people go top 10 that I was working with one-on-one personally. I'd helped something like 15 or 20 people go elite for the first time. I had trained probably at that point like 3,000 different people in training groups. Oh, Sabrina is on here. What's up, my girl? What's up, my girl? And I was sitting and reflecting, and I was asking myself, so leadership rule, okay, leadership principle, leadership lesson here for a sec, okay? Never, ever, ever blame someone else's lack of success on yourself. That is not your fault. Do not wear that on your sleeve. Do not take that on. But as a lifelong learner, constantly ask yourself, what could I do better? So it's not a matter of, oh my God, I'm the worst leader. It's my fault that they didn't rank advance. It's not fault. It's never my fault if you don't do your job, okay? But I also think from a growth standpoint, I need to constantly be asking, is there something more I could do? Does that make sense? Not is there something more I should do? That's the wrong thing. Is there something more I could do? And I was just sitting and I was reflecting. I'm like, okay, why have the 10 to 20%, 80-20 rule says 20% of your people give you 80% of your results. In network marketing, I think it's a 90-10 rule because the buy-in is so little. So how come 10% of people have got these kind of results and 90% of people paying me like $200 to get into the art of recruiting, watch video 1. And on day 1 of puke goals, it's like, oh my God, yes, I'm going to go for it. Like Angie was saying, I'm going to go elite. I'm going to go 29,000 star is the joke that I like to use. And then like literally by week 2, they're not even watching the video. Like, how are you going to pay $200 for a group and then not even watch the second video? And I was like literally looking at the stats of the week 1 video and the week 3 video. And like 75% of people don't even make it to the 3rd week video. Guys, I'm not even talking about the action I'm asking people to do. I'm just talking about watching the damn video that you can do while you're riding in a car, right? And I'm asking myself, why is it these 10% have just blown up and gone crazy. And as I sat and I reflected on some of the conversations that I've had in one-on-one scenarios and Q&A calls, I realized those 10% came to me and said something like this: dude, I have something crazy that I want to do, and I don't even know if I can do it. I don't even know if it's possible. To be honest, it scares the crap out of me to even say it out loud. 10% of people came to me with this thing I call urgency. If you read High Performance Habits by Brendon Burchard, he has basically another term for it. It just slipped my mind, but it's something along the lines of, okay, Gypsy likes the book, so help me out. He calls it something else, and it's something necessity. That's what he calls it, necessity. And it's one of the top qualities of all successful people, is that there was some type of necessity. I call it urgency. But basically people came to me with this necessity, like, dude, here's the thing. I've seen this higher level. I know I want to go there. I'm just scared to do it. I don't know if I know how. I just know I want this. And each time I had to look at them and say, then let's go for it. Like, first thing as a leader you need to do is just give your people permission to do something crazy. Like, just give them permission. They're just looking for someone to affirm to them that this is okay. It's okay to dream like this, because everyone else in their world and in their life has told them it's not okay, right? Their limiting beliefs are saying that's not okay. You need to do something realistic. Oh my God. I hate SMART goals with a passion. With an absolute passion. If someone spoke last week on the National Wake Up Call or on your team call about SMART goals, I apologize, but I hate them so bad. Because if it is so smart, if it's so realistic and it's so attainable, why the hell are we even trying? Like, is anyone on this call like, oh my God, you know what I would wake up early for every single day and do extra personal development for and work through my lunch? If I could just make an extra $100 a month, wow, no one's doing that. Like, no one in the world is waking up early, staying up late, sacrificing Netflix to go after something that like is attainable. That's the kind of shit we do things that are unattainable for. And that's why I teach this thing called urgency. I wear this thing around my wrist every single day. It says #Let's Puke Together. So I think we should do a giveaway tonight. Can we do a giveaway? Okay, if you take a picture, take a screenshot, or if you want, you can take a selfie with like me and Angie in the background, or I don't know exactly what you guys are seeing, whatever you're seeing, okay? Get a picture of us, tag me and Angie in your stories, okay? And use #Let's Puke Together with your favorite quote from tonight, okay? And let's pick 2 people to win $100. Does that sound fun, Angie? 2 people are going to win $100 tonight, okay? You're going to immediately make extra money from my call if you're one of those. So just tag me and Angie over on your stories. We'll look into them later and pick some winners, maybe like after the call or something like that. Sound good? Okay, so let's puke together. I started giving people permission to go for these crazy things. And I started actually preaching that the only way to truly succeed is to finally write down and say out loud the thing that has always scared you the most, that you've wanted to do so bad, but you weren't willing to write it down. And I've watched on one-on-one sessions over and over and over, because of what I learned about this urgency, I started asking people on the very first call, what's the thing you want to accomplish more than anything else this year? We just start there. Like, let's just start by figuring out what makes you want to vomit. And every single time I ask this question, I literally watch people's demeanor, and I watch their eyeballs like light up. And I watch them like sit up straight and get excited. And then it's like literally within 1 or 2 seconds, Angie's probably seen this happen a million times too. It's like they do it, and then you see them hit something. It's their limiting beliefs, their subconscious mind, right? Their pre-programming. And then they drop down, their stature changes, the light goes away from their eyeballs, and they say something out loud that doesn't excite them. Why? Because they've been taught by people to say something attainable and realistic. They got lit up. They got excited about something they really want to do, but then they thought, oh, that's a little too crazy. I should probably say this other thing. And when I see that, I always kind of coach them through. Okay, now let me ask you, is that something that lights you on fire? Is that something you really, is that something you would wake up early for? Is that something you would sacrifice? Is it something, and the more I get them to talk every single time, give me 2 or 3 minutes, and they say something like, actually, what I really want to do is this. And I see the light come back. And so the reason I preach this urgency thing is because, I just want you to think about this for a second. If there's something inside you that makes your eyeballs literally light up, that makes your confidence, even in your posture, rise up, that makes you think like, oh my God, like, I want to go for that. I don't know if it's possible. I know it's crazy, but I want to go for this. Doesn't that sound like the thing that would transform your life? Doesn't that sound like the thing that you would get on social media and be excited to talk about? Doesn't that sound like the thing that you'd be in your, like here's the thing, guys. Like I talked about earlier, showing up every day is not enough. There's got to be an intensity level. There's got to be some energy and some excitement and some passion. John Maxwell says that leaders are dealers in hope. Like, that's it. Every single one of us, we're just selling hope. Like, that's it. When you are selling weight loss, we all know this. You're not selling weight loss. You're selling hope of a better life, internal transformation, confidence, self-esteem, fixed relationships. All of these things happen, and you're just showing the before and after picture to give them hope of all the other cool shit that can happen in life. And so when we start writing down these big goals, and I'm going to help you to give you like a baseline of how to do this. Number one, every one of you at Summit, if you were there or watching from home, which I hope that you were at least watching the stream from home, you heard somebody say something that made you go, oh my God, I want to do that. I want to be on that stage. I want to be recognized for that. Now, it doesn't have to be what someone else thought or what everyone on this call saw something different, heard something different. Just like right now, everybody's taking notes and writing something different. One of my mentors says it's not as important what I say as much as it is what you hear when I say. So it's not that you need to necessarily do the thing that the other girl on the call, Deanna, doesn't need to do the same thing Pepper does or what Sarah does. It's just, what was it that spoke to you? Like, there was something you're watching, you're like, oh my God, that's the thing I want to do. First thing is, you just need to say that shit out loud and make the decision that it's okay, that's what you're going to go for. That's what I'm going to go for. Now, does that mean it's going to happen by fourth quarter? Not necessarily. Does that mean it's going to happen by the end of the year? Not necessarily, but who cares? Like, we have to chase the thing that lights our soul on fire, because that's the fuel to keep us chasing. So the first thing that I want you to do tonight, we're going to do a little bit of workshop mixed in, if that's okay. I want everyone in the comments right here to go ahead and tell me, what did you hear? What did you see that you want to chase after that scares the shit out of you, but you want it anyways? Put it in the comments over here. Put it in the comments. Go ahead. I'm going to grab a sip of water. I've been walking around outside. It's hot. I don't feel like I've caught my breath since Summit, so I probably need like 8 of these water bottles tonight. Go ahead. Emerald to elite. Results. Elite. Okay, give me something measurable, guys. Results is not measurable. It's an awesome, awesome word, but it's not measurable. I want to speak on stage at Summit. 15 star, 15 star. Walk across stage. Lifetime 1-star, went elite by November. Okay, awesome. I love it. I love it. These are all great. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. I'm going to kind of keep talking, but keep them coming. So that's the first thing. And some of you, are you guys already feeling the hashtag Let's Puke Together? Literally, I started teaching people to set these kind of goals, and what people started saying is, oh my God, I literally feel like I'm going to vomit. And I said, cool, then let's just puke together. So that's my thing. Let's puke together. Sometimes shit, let's puke together. Sometimes it's shit together. It's whatever you need it to be. Okay. That's what we're going to do together. Okay. Now here's the second thing you need to do. A lot of people are really good at coming up with the goal, not as good at creating, and this is where urgency comes from, okay? True urgency isn't just the big goal. It's, what am I going to perform on a regular basis to make that happen? How many of you in January were like, oh my God, I'm going to go elite this year? But right now, you're like barely hitting Success Club 5. Like, I'm just going to be real with you guys. I'm going to be real. I don't know if anyone else will say this to you, but I'm going to say this to you. Success Club 5 is never going to get you to elite, like ever. If elite is your goal, Success Club 5, not the right kind of numbers. Now, Success Club 5, let me just say, there's nothing wrong with it, but it is the company minimum. Please don't make the company minimum your maximum. Okay? Please. So here's what I tell people to do from the get-go, okay? At the absolute minimum, you need to hit Success Club 5 per week. Minimum, okay? If you're brand new and you're on this call, let me back it up for you. If you just signed up, you're just getting on this call, we have this thing called Success Starters. Hit Success Club 5 your first 3 months in a row and get a free ticket to Summit. Beautiful. Go make that happen. But here's the thing. Once your 3 months is up, you're no longer a starter, okay? You're no longer a beginner. It's time to raise the bar, okay? That's what we want people to do right out of the gate. After that, we got to raise the bar, okay? So for everyone on this call, everyone watching, everyone listening and recording, absolute minimum, you need to make Success Club 5 per week your new goal. Now, if you're someone already hitting Success Club 20 and higher, here's what I'm going to encourage you to do. I'm going to encourage you to at least 1.5x your goal. So if you're hitting Success Club 30, I want you to make 45 your new goal. If you're hitting 60, I want you to make 90 your new goal, okay? And I'm going to get into why this is important in a second. Because I believe that a leader's greatest responsibility is production. A leader's greatest responsibility is production. You cannot, please write this down. You cannot inspire someone else to rise up to their best if you are living something less than your best. So it's not really about necessarily it takes this many Success Club points to have success per se. It's more about, as a leader, what are you showing other people is possible? And I love to use the example of John Maxwell. John Maxwell has wrote 90 plus books. He might be up to 100. I don't even know anymore, okay? Now, as a result, people on the John Maxwell team, this is what they think. I can write a book. Absolutely. I'm going to write a book. I'm going to write 3 or 4, maybe even 5 books. Now, if John Maxwell, okay, dude who is out there making millions upon millions, probably billions of dollars, speaking for all of the Fortune 50 companies and hosting events with hundreds of thousands of people, if he had only written 5 books, people on the John Maxwell team would be like, I think I'm going to try to maybe write a book in my lifetime. See how that just changes everything? Because if John Maxwell is who we're all looking up to and following, the thing about followers is it's really hard for us to imagine ourselves ever being as good as our leader, okay? So we're always going to kind of undersell ourselves a little bit based on who we look up to. And that's why it's really important to find people that are like as high as you possibly can to chase after. You don't want to be chasing after someone like 1 level past you. You'll be chasing after somebody like 5 levels. Like for me, Grant Cardone is the dude. Grant Cardone's like, I bought 24,000 apartment complexes. I'm like, shit, bro. I don't even know what to do right now. Like, I don't know what to do, but I got to do. In other words, hearing what he says makes what I'm doing feel little. If I compare myself honestly to most life coaches, I talk to them and like, oh, I got a subscription group. I got 30 people on it. I'm like, I got like 250 people. It makes me feel like I've done something special, which makes me immediately rest and pull back. But following someone like Grant Cardone, I'm like, I got 300 people in a subscription group. Homeboy just filled the Florida Marlins stadium. Like, I got to keep going. Like, I got to keep learning and growing. So for you, I don't want to make it sound like Success Club is somehow the equivalent of success per se. It's more about, as a leader, are you willing to pave a path that allows the people following you to rise up to a level that it takes to have success? Because Again, Success Club 5, I'm sorry, is not going to make you a six-figure income unless you are hands down the most incredible leader on the fucking planet. And I'm going to tell you, none of us are. Like, none of us are so good. I mean, it sounds great. It sounds wonderful. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to recruit 1 or 2 people a month, and they're going to be such good quality people that I'm going to turn every single one of them into diamond. And in 1 year, I'm going to be a 15-star diamond. I mean, that'd be really cool if 1 or 2 people a month that came on board were that fucking amazing. But let's be real, they're not. Okay? They're not. Especially with a $130, $40 upfront investment. Unless you are literally putting people through like a 30-page application process and then interviewing them in person and then watching them over their shoulder for 3 months to make sure they like actually work as hard as they say they work, it ain't happening. But you hear things, go off on a little bit of a tangent here, Angie. I hope this is okay. You hear things from some people that we all love, and I love too. Melissa McAllister and Micah Folsom are 2 of like my favorite humans on the planet, okay? Here's the problem. You hear them say things like, I mean, I'm not really a big recruiter. I just get really good quality people, and that's how I stay successful. Here's what you don't know. When they say, I don't recruit very many people, they mean between 10 and 15 a month. See, in your head, when you heard, oh, I don't recruit very many people, you were comparing it to you and your crew. So you're like, oh, yeah, she probably recruits like 2 or 3 people a month, just like me. No. She's comparing herself to people like Angie, to people like Bonnie and Amy and Ashley. That's who she's comparing herself to because that's the kind of people she runs with. So you hear those words, and because you were looking for an excuse to be lazy, just saying it how it is, you go, oh, cool. So I can just like recruit 1 or 2 people a month and be solid? No, you can't. That's not what anybody is doing in having success in this business, okay? You are trying to build a team. That takes recruiting. That takes work. I've always said that network marketing is a lot like being a college coach. In the pros, you spend enough money, you get the right players. In college, you got to travel around the country. You got to have dinner with people. You got to talk to people. And you can't just do that 1 year because those people are going to go pro or graduate. The best college programs, yes, have good coaching, but they have the best recruiting. And I always say this about network marketing. We spend 95% of our time focusing on leadership and 5% of our time on recruiting. And if honestly, all of y'all would just spend 90% of your time becoming better recruiters, leadership would come along so naturally. Leadership comes along so naturally when you are doing the kind of work and spending time with humans. You want to try leading 2 people and find out how many leadership lessons you'll learn? You won't learn any. Because as those of you on this call know who have 2 coaches, how often do they even respond to you? If you've got 2 coaches, you are lucky if one of them even messages you back. Am I right? I mean, let's just for a second imagine a challenge group. Can we imagine a challenge group with 2 people in it? Like, what? No, you would never dream of having a challenge group. You know why? Because you would understand that the numbers aren't there to create the kind of energy you need to make it a fun environment that people want to hang around for, right? And so why would we think our team's any different? Why do we think that if 2 people in a challenge group would be the worst fucking group we've ever ran in our life, that somehow 2 people on your team is going to be some superstar team where everyone walks across the stage? It's not how it works, guys. Energy is everything, and the more humans you have, the more energy you have. The more excitement you have, the more community you have when more humans come together. So raise your Success Club points, not because it's really not about the money you'll make off commission. It's more about the momentum and energy you're going to create, bringing on enough humans to actually make something happen. Okay? So now let's get down to what I really want to talk about tonight, which is when we start saying these big goals out loud, okay? You're like, Josh, that's cute. Success Club 20, I'm barely hitting Success Club 5. So like, how in the world can I 4X my numbers? I'm already busy. I've got this going on. I've got that going on. For those of you hitting 30, that you're like, bro, 45? Like what? Like where are these humans gonna come from? Here's what I want you to write down. Number one, urgency creates focus. Urgency creates focus. I tell my clients this every day. I'm not asking you to work more hours. I'm asking you to work more focused. If we have a goal, we get to decide how much work and energy we're willing to give to make it happen. And let me just tell you, if you are focused enough, you can make any goal happen on any budget of time. Tell me you got 2 hours a day? Good, because that's really, if you're really focused, that's really all we need. I'm not saying you should only work 2 hours a day if you have more time, but if you only have 2 hours, we can light up the fucking world with 2 hours a day. Like, let's be real. If you do the business activity tracker that Carl gave out, I have one of my own that I use in my groups. They're all very similar, okay? If you just went through, let's say you put on some fucking gangster rap and took some Energize and just went through the list and did every single one of those things without stopping to watch someone's stories, without going and checking your notifications, without going and checking your emails, without spending 40 minutes in Canva or checking in on a newsletter from who the hell knows. If you just literally took your Energize, okay? If you're like me, I learned this from Lori Stewart. I take the scoop and I just pop it back and then chug. Okay, Angie's all about that life too. Okay, I like it. Just goes straight to your blood and it's like, let's go. I ain't waiting 15 minutes. I'm gonna take it and we're gonna go. I ain't got 15 minutes, okay? And you just go down the list. How long does it take? I'd be willing to bet everyone on this call would be like, it takes about 2 hours. It takes about 2 hours, honestly. Now, are there other things that like need to be done at some point? At some point, do we need to check notifications? Sure. At some point, do we need to go in and check on the challenge group and like some new comments that showed up? Sure. But your problem is your goal is so tiny, you don't need to knock out all of those activities in 2 hours. And so what you find yourself doing, here's the thing, Grant Cardone talks about this. Whatever your goal is, this is why the 10X rule is so powerful. Whatever your goal is, you kind of subconsciously decide how much work and energy and effort it will take to actually reach that goal. And unfortunately, you are always wrong. You always count on everything going in your favor, and you never account for all of the things that are going to go wrong. You never account for the fact that, you're like, well, they said for every 10 people, one of them should come through. Like it's kind of like a really common stat, like 10 people equals 1 sale. Yeah, but here's what you forgot about. You forgot about the fact that, like, honestly, 6 or 7 of those people, depending on how warm or cold are, they ain't even going to respond to you. They ain't even going to respond. And you forgot about that. You forgot that 70% of people don't give a fuck how good your script is. They ain't interested. They don't want to talk to you. They don't care. You underestimated the kind of work and energy it would take to get 10 humans to actually talk to you about a challenge pack or joining your team. You underestimated the fact that even that one girl that is going to sign up out of your 10, she ain't signing up this month. That ain't happening. She's going to ghost you. But as a result of your DM back and forth, now you're popping up in her feed and she's going to watch, and she ain't going to like or comment on shit because she's afraid you're going to reach back out. She is going to like watch in the background. She's going to be really careful about even watching your stories because she knows that it shows up that she watched, right? She's like logging in like as a different user to watch your story so that she doesn't get a response, right? And she's just watching your ass. And 3 months later, 6 months later, 9 months later, Out of nowhere, you thought this girl hated your guts because she hasn't responded to you in so long. Out of nowhere, she messages you. I get these messages after Summit. Like I get like 100 of these messages right after Summit. Okay. I've been watching. I'm ready to do something. Like, where do I sign up? And that's how it works. And so because you didn't understand that that's how it works, you thought you could go typical Beachbody coach life on the, today, holy shit, today is the day. I always use this joke on calls, Angie, and today happens to be the 25th. You go on the 25th. You guys have been hustling today. No wonder there's so much energy in the chat. Today's the day they started hustling. You go in on the 25th and you start messaging everybody. Because subconsciously, you knew you really only needed about 5 days to make 3 sales. And so for the first 25 days, man, you guys have gone through 7 different avatar trainings. You have changed out your profile picture 13 times. You have like, the little, your little story favorites things, whatever them things are called. You've like changed out the logos on them. You like texted your uncle's brother who does graphic design, asked him to make you like some new pretty graphics for that. You've done everything in the world for 25 days other than talk to humans. And so you haven't put yourself in position to actually make any sales, which is why for some of you, it's so hard to hit Success Club. For some of you, you barely pull it off. And then for others of you, maybe you do hit high numbers like Success Club 20, like Success Club 30 and 40. But honestly, you're capable of so much more. If we could get rid of the distractions, one of the other questions I ask on my first call with a new client, what are the things we need to weed out from your schedule? What do we got to like clear? What do we got to get rid of? It's just as important to know what you need to get rid of as it is to know what you need to do. And so what happens is if I could get you, okay, if you struggle to hit Success Club 5 to say, I'm going to hit Success Club 5 this week, what happens? You might be like a little bit lazy on Monday, maybe even Tuesday, but by Wednesday, your ass is in gear. And I tell my clients this all the time. I can afford for you to have a bad day, okay? But what I can't afford for you to have is a bad week, because bad weeks turn into bad months turn into bad quarters, and bad quarters turn into bad years. Turn into sending me desperation messages right after Summit saying you need your ass in gear. It's okay to have some bad days, but when we have a weekly goal, please write this down. When we have a weekly goal, it's almost impossible to ever have a bad week. And if we can put together consecutive good weeks, all of a sudden, good month, good quarter, good year, it's like magic. It's like literally magic when you actually use the compound effect. So urgency creates focus. It doesn't demand more time. It doesn't demand necessarily more energy, even though I do believe it demands the right kind of energy. It's just putting energy into the right places instead of the wrong places. So I want to test this theory, okay? How many of you on this call, I want you to give me an answer for this over here in the chat. If I challenge you to make 5 sales before you go to bed tonight, okay? Those of you on Eastern time are really freaking out right now. If I said make 5 sales before you go to bed, tell me in the comments what specific actions you would take. I want to see, what activities would you do? Message fucking error on sell my soul to the devil. Follow-ups, send more messages. Follow-ups, go live. Follow-up all night. More invites, stories, offer my codes, which is a message to someone, correct? Go, okay. So for 90% of you, you agree that the way you would make 5 sales, whether it be sending invites or following up, is some version of talking to humans, right? Talking to humans. That's it. So tell me this, okay? Now, a lot of you wouldn't be able to pull off 5 sales by the end of the night because they don't always happen that fast. But I bet a lot of you would pull off 1 or 2 sales, right? But tell me this, if that's the thing you would do, if you needed to make 5 sales today, why isn't that the thing we do every fucking day and make 3 to 5 sales a week? Like, I mean, it's like, it literally blows my mind that we think we can somehow grow a people-based business without talking to people. Because, let's be real, making stories is more fun. And I'm not saying that making stories is bad. That's how people get to know you. It's free advertising, right? But who the fuck cares if 2,000 people watch your stories if you didn't take the time to personally reach out to them and say, hey girl, I seen you watching my stories every day, and I just want to know, is this the right time for you? Because like, I just feel in my heart that like, you've been watching me for a reason. And if you want help, I want to help you. You send that to 20 girls tonight, that's the thing that's going to get people actually purchasing, not what you did on the story. What you did on the stories was to set it up. It was to set the stage. But if you're going to set the stage, at some point you got to get on the damn stage and deliver. And that's what nobody wants to do. Nobody wants to take the time to deliver the package that you spend so much energy setting a stage for. It's like you guys think that somehow you're paid journalists or paid reality show stars, and you're not. You are all paid. I know we hate this word, but I'm going to use it. We're all paid to sell. John Maxwell says that we are dealers in hope. What does a dealer do? Fucking makes the sell. Okay? There's nothing gross about selling when the thing you have to offer transforms people's lives. We ain't selling no used cars over here, guys. We're literally selling life changes. We ought to be proud. Dude, I'm proud to make that sale. In fact, I put this kind of pressure on myself when I do webinars. I say, Josh, if you don't sell them, you failed them. Because tonight's team call, I love you guys all so much. And I pray this inspires something. I hope it ignites some action. But this call alone doesn't change anybody's life. The only thing that changes your life is the process you implement as a result. That's it. And so if you don't make the sale, the way I see it, we failed. I had these humans that need the process. And the process does cost money because I do need to make a living to do what I do, or I might as well just go be a volunteer somewhere, correct? So if I need this transaction to happen for me to deliver the product in the process, and the process is what changes your life, I'm a failure if I don't get you to buy in. And that's how I see it. So I put really heavy pressure on myself, not in a negative way. Sometimes, of course, it gets negative because I'm human, but in a way of like, bro, when you get to the, and I teach other speakers this, I say, when you get to the closer, okay, a lot of people, their energy goes like this. And what you got to work on is doing this, because that's the part, this is where we got to capitalize. If I bring you this level of energy for the presentation, for the call, when I get to the closer, I better boost up the energy so people know like this shit's going to change your life. And you, I know all of you aren't speakers, even though technically you are in your stories and your live stuff like that. I need you to do the same. If you're going to bring that level of energy on your stories, talking about your favorite purse, talking about your meal prep, when it comes time to close, I need you to raise up even more energy. I need you to give more passion. I need you to deliver the full package. Like if you were already like a 10 out of 10, you better come up to a 12 out of 10. Because people need that shit more than they need to know what purse you bought yesterday. And again, I'm not making fun of stories. It's how we set things up and build relationships, but it just doesn't matter if we don't actually deliver the package. So urgency creates focus. Number 2, urgency breeds creativity. It breeds creativity. So year 1 of my business, I was all in, but I was just falling all over the place. I made $500 in my first year. Absolutely terrible. But in year 2, I started practicing what I'm telling you tonight. I started writing the number 10 at the top of my calendar for the month. I was determined to sign 10 new clients per month. That's why I was messaging everyone on the planet. That's why everyone in Beachbody, I like to pretend had like some like dark secret like message thread. Like, who the fuck's this Josh Coates guy messaging all of us? Now, since then, there's been at least 10 or 15 of those threads pop up. But back then, nobody even knew who the hell I was. And I was like messaging everybody. Hey, I'm on the John Maxwell team. I work with Brittany Powers. Emma Owens, would you be interested in a free one-on-one, blah, 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 blah. And I was just sending them to everybody. I didn't give a fuck. Because I was just like, I'm trying to grow this business, and this is the kind of action it takes. So in year 2, I made $48,000 part-time. And I quit my full-time job, had my first $10,000 month, first couple of $10,000 months to end the year. And I'm listening to this Grant Cardone guy. This guy's fucking crazy. My God, I love this guy. And he teaches me the 10X rule. So I'm like, okay, well, I made about $40,000 a year detailing cars. So my first full-time year, I'm going to try to make $400,000. And literally to like say it out loud, I mean, like I come from a family of preachers. No one in my family has ever had money. We've literally always shopped off the clearance rack. We always, at this time, I was married and literally for our kids, like we like couldn't even afford to buy them clothes for back to school. Like my mom would like go buy, like that's how, like we were poor. Like, I don't want to make it sound like we were homeless, but we literally thought that going to Starbucks once a week was like the greatest treat in the world. And our accounts usually went negative to do that. So for me to say $400,000 out loud, I'd literally never known someone who made 6 figures in a year. So for me to go 4X 6, I was just like, it was scary. But here's what it did. It made me focus so freaking strong on everything I knew to do. And then for those girls that I said, hey, if you're going to 30, go to 45. If you're at 50, go to 75. This is where this really plays in for you, okay? I realized that no matter how much I focused, there was no way I could hit the goal I had with what I currently knew. And that forced me to get creative about learning new ways to reach more people, to find more people. I was at Platinum Edge, and Chalene Johnson says, Facebook ads is the #1 ROI I get in my business. I spend the max amount that they'll let me, and if they'd let me spend more, I'd do it in a second. Now, if I wouldn't have had a goal to 10X my business, I would have been like, that's cool, but I'm doing good. I mean, at this point, I was having $20,000 months. It's like, I don't need that. But $20,000 months ain't enough to make $400,000. So I'm looking for something to elevate. I'm looking for the next step. So she says that. Here's what's funny. The presentation she was giving was about Periscope. Periscope ain't even around anymore. But it didn't matter because I had this huge goal. And having a huge goal, guys, subconsciously trains yourself to look for the thing you need. So subconsciously, Napoleon Hill of Think and Grow Rich calls it infinite intelligence. I was literally seeking out infinite intelligence. I heard that one phrase that had nothing to do with anything else she was talking about, and I just, and I was like, fuck, I need that. So I went home. No one else there probably even heard her say those words. Apparently Angie did, but I don't know if anyone heard them the way I did. And I spent my 3rd year, the first 6 months, diving into a Facebook ads training. Just throwing whatever money I could, experimenting, testing. People tell me all the time, oh, I use Facebook ads, it's a waste of money. Well, that's because you didn't spend 6 months learning it like I did. I knew this was the thing I needed. So I literally dedicated 6 months, an hour every night before I went to bed, sitting on my computer, typing up everything he said to type, doing everything, and literally just experimenting for 6 months. I made it my goal to take over the news feed the same way Chalene Johnson and Lewis Howes had taken over my news feed. And by the end of that year, December 31st at like 10:30 p.m., my sales hit $401,000. Pulled it off. All because urgency had breeded creativity. I didn't have a choice. Like I had to go learn new shit. Now, how many of you on this call can say, here's the thing. I heard this at Summit. I heard this on a call. I heard this on the night. And I saw an avenue to grow to a new level, a new skill that I needed. And you tried it out for a week and you're like, that don't work. Do you know why it didn't work? Because your goal isn't big enough that you have to have the next thing. When your goal is so big, you don't have a choice. You have to find a new way to grow and do bigger things. And that's why urgent goals are so big. For me now, I mean, my goal, I told it to my coach and he goes, Josh, there's literally only like 10 people in our entire industry that make that kind of money. I was like, well, then I guess I set the right goal. I don't know how to fucking do it. I just know that's what I'm going for. And as a result, I got a new book coming out with a publishing company that we're going to take it to the top 10 on Amazon. I've got a push coach that I hired to work with me who runs groups for me now. I've got another girl I partnered up. I mean, like, I'm just saying yes to all the fucking things because that's what it's going to take to get me to that level of a goal. And is it going to take a year, 2 years, 5 years? Probably. I don't really know. It doesn't matter. All I know is with this kind of urgency, I have no choice but to grow. So last thing, and I'll close it up because I know I've already gone long for a team call. Number 3 is urgency demands ownership. Urgency demands ownership. Now, this is the most valuable lesson that any human could ever learn. I signed up for the John Maxwell team. Had to put $1,000 down. It was our tax return. I didn't have $1,000. It was a tax return. I threw it there and was like, I'll figure out a way to pay the other $4,000. I don't know how the fuck I'm going to do that, but this is what I want to do. First thing they tell me to do, Josh, we want you to read the 21 irrefutable laws of leadership 3 times in a row before you do anything else. I'm just going to tell you I was pissed. Because I signed up for the John Maxwell team because of the fact that I was listening to podcasts. I was not reading books. I was listening to podcasts. That's how I fell in love with personal growth. And like, we want you to, I'm like, I just paid you $1,000 and now you're telling me to go buy a book. So fuck you. Okay. So like, that's just how I felt at the time. It gets better. I promise. I'm like, but read it 3 times in a row. Like, this is like public information. Anyone can go buy this book. I thought I signed up for something to get like exclusive access to shit that nobody else gets, right? I was like, whatever. If that's what I got to do, that's what I got to do. I sit down. I open the book. Chapter 1, Law of the Lid. Says, you'll never be more successful than your ability to lead people. Now, here's the thing. I always say that this book is a leadership book. So really, in reality, the 21 laws in this book are really just universal laws that John Maxwell put the word leader with because they're also leadership laws. But anything that's a leadership law is also a like a law is interchangeable in any industry, in any place. So when I read this law, something crazy happened, like infinite intelligence, literally just like, it was crazy. I had kind of one of those movie moments where your whole life flashes before you. And I grew up in the church world, going to small churches. And let me just say, I have nothing against churches or the church life or the church world. This is just a piece of my story. I grew up in small churches with very, very closed-minded people. I'm not saying that church people are closed-minded people. I'm saying the ones I was around were closed-minded people, okay? And in a flash, I was very heavily involved in helping out at these churches and volunteering my time. I heard all of these pastors at these smaller churches that had said things like this. We could grow if everyone else would give more, if everyone else would invite people, if everyone else would do this, get more involved, get more engaged, blah, 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 blah. I also played music for many years. I would hang out in local guitar shops on my days off, and I would hear this from the owners. Well, Guitar Center is just running us all out of business because they stay open late. They're open on the weekends. They let people turn up the amps as loud as they want. It was always, we can't succeed because something they're doing. Local coffee shops, which I still love, still spend all my time in local coffee shops. Well, if Starbucks would just stop serving this dessert shit coffee and serving it through the drive-thru, maybe people would come. The point I'm trying to make is I realized in literally one flash, My entire life, I had watched people blame their lack of success on someone else. And to me, the law of the lid was not really a leadership principle as much as it was an ownership principle. You will never be more successful than your ability. And your ability is something that you control by the amount of work and energy and effort you take into growing your ability. Why do you suck on Instagram? Because you haven't worked on it enough. That's it. Why do you suck at closing the sale? You haven't worked on it enough. Why do you suck at going live? You haven't done it enough. Like that's it. And so right there in that moment, I made a promise to God. I said, I promise you, I will never, ever, ever blame my lack of success on anyone but myself. I will dedicate my life to doing what Jim Collins talks about in Good to Great. He says a level 5 leader looks out the window for someone to give the credit to and in the mirror for someone to give the blame to. So I'll look in the mirror. I ain't going to point out here. I'm going to look in the mirror. So my whole first year, I only made $500. And it was really fucking hard not to blame other people. It was really hard not to say things like, well, other people in the John Maxwell team are more successful because they have corporate experience, because they have friends that are own businesses, because they have this, because they have that, and I just had to keep looking in the mirror over and over and over and over and over and saying, you need to grow. You need to grow. It's the most powerful thing you could possibly learn, because the second, it's the biggest blessing and the biggest curse. It's the biggest curse because when you realize it's only your fault, you don't have anyone else to blame. But it's also the biggest blessing because if no one else can be the reason you failed, no one else can be the thing that holds you back from succeeding. No one else has that power but you. You're the only one. You are the only one. And I love to use Beachbody's slogan, decide, commit, succeed. You're the only one that can make the decision that eventually leads to success. There is no success without a decision. It all starts with you saying, I'm 100% in, I'm 1,000% in until it works. Not if it works, not for like 3 to 6 months to find out if maybe I'm good enough. No, I'm all in until it works. So I want you to imagine, I'm going to close with this short little analogy, that you left the house and you left your loved ones at home. Maybe it's your kids, spouse, parents, whatever it is, okay? You went out, have some cocktails. Maybe you're, I don't know, having a girls' night at Target, just sipping Frappuccinos and buying bathing suits. I don't know. But you come home and you see smoke coming up out of your neighborhood. And as you get to your neighborhood, you realize the smoke's coming from your street. And as you get to your street, you realize it's your house. Your house is literally on fire. So you drive up the street as fast as you can. You jump the curb into the grass. You jump out of the car. You run to the door. Somewhere in between the car and the door, your keys flew out and you have no fucking clue where they are. All you know is house on fire, kids inside, door locked. How many of you can show me over here in the comments? How many of you are like, I don't give a fuck. I will kick down this door. I will punch through this window. I will climb through a damn chimney if I have to, but I'm getting inside. Now, here's the thing. I take away the fire and I take away the loved ones. All of a sudden, instead of kicking down a door, ruining your Jimmy Choos or whatever the hell you're wearing that night, you go sit in the car, Google nearby locksmiths, shoot somebody a message through a website because we ain't about to give nobody a fucking phone call, and sit in your car and just wait for someone to come unlock the door for you. Nobody's kicking down the door if there's no kids inside and there's no fire, correct? So what this tells me is that urgency changes everything. The situation and the circumstances you're in change the way you're willing to react in the responsibility and ownership you're willing to take. But what's crazy is how many of you watching this, you've said to Angie or your upline, whoever that is, you've said, I need this to work. I work a job that is like literally eating my soul. I hate it. I want to be home making memories. I want to be on the road making memories. Maybe your spouse works a job that eats their soul. You're like, I want to take some financial pressure off so he doesn't come home and scream at us every single night because he's so exhausted. It's I'm swimming in credit card debt. It's I want to travel the world. It's so I want to make memories. I want to live the life of my full potential. The house is on fire. And your loved ones are inside. And 90% of you sitting in the car, Googling nearby locksmith. You're waiting for somebody else to come unlock the door. Hopping on National Wake Up Call. Oh, what? Do they got some like magic formula for me? They got some secrets? So I know that the top coaches are doing something that they're not telling us about. Bullshit. They kicked down the door. You didn't. Will you take ownership? Will you kick down the door? I'm just going to give you a shameless pitch because Angie gave me permission and invited me to do this. I don't always do this on team calls, but she asked me to. So I'm just going to say, if you're sick and tired of watching the damn house burn, I've got some groups that will literally make you kick the fucking door. So a couple groups that I have, one is called the Push Mastermind, and it's for anybody who wants to join. It's $136 a month. We made it cheaper than a challenge pack on purpose. We give you Monday calls with myself where we light you up like this. We give you weekly guest speakers to teach you some of the behind the scenes how-tos that successful people are seeing that are working for them. But here's the most powerful part. We put you on a daily tracker. We make you, it's a public spreadsheet in the group. It's got daily activities that you got to do every day. On Sundays, we shut down the tracker. My assistant calculates all of the numbers. And if you fall below 70% of the activities you're supposed to do, we tag you in a post on Monday. You have 48 hours to either catch up on your activities or get kicked out and lose your investment for the month. To me, that is true accountability. And I do believe in the power of community, but I think that when you partner community with accountability, that's when shit gets real. You can't hide in my group. Old Art of Recruiting, you could come in and hide all you want. I got sick of that shit. I was like, I ain't letting people pay me money to then peace out. We're going to make people show up or get kicked out. And as a result, we got 90% of people in the group showing up and actually doing the shit they committed to doing. Imagine a challenge group with 250 people where 90% of them drink their Shaco and work out every day. Like, it's unreal. But by just tagging them, calling them out publicly, dude, you Beachbody coaches, you fucking hate to be publicly embarrassed. So you will get your shit together real quick. Like, I thought you would do it to keep from losing your investment. It turns out you care more about public shame than you do losing your investment. Like, I don't care about my money. I just don't want to look stupid. So the Push Mastermind, if you want to sign up for that, you can go to joshcoates.com. It's Josh Coates, my name. I'm right here. It's right there, joshcoates.com. It's called the Push Mastermind. It's $136 a month, or if you pay for 6 months up front, it's $679, which is like $113 a month. So you can be committed all the way through the end of January for $679. You can be committed to showing up, bringing your A game, and actually working this thing instead of talking about the shit you want to do, doing the shit you want to do. One more group that I have, we've got 2 levels for this. I decided to launch a Push Elite group. So last year I helped girls in a small group. We had 10 girls, 8 out of 10 of them went Elite. The other 2 went Premier. And I was sitting at Summit. I was there for the celebration night. And one of my girls walked across stage, came outside, and she's bawling her eyes out, gives me the biggest hug in the world. And then the cooler thing happened. Her husband, bawling his eyes out, comes and gives me a big hug. And that's when you know shit has like really changed, is when the husband is in tears. That's when you know transformation has happened. And I was like, I got to get more people on stage. So kind of my theme for the rest of the year is getting you on your stage. So if you are someone, diamond or up, that wants to push for Elite this year, I've got 2 different groups. One, you have to be 2-star or higher, hitting Success Club 20 or higher. That one has a group of 25 or less people, and I've only got like 3 spots left. Okay. I want to partner people together that already got crazy ass momentum, put you in a community together, let you feed off of each other and do your thing. The other one is for anyone between Diamond and 2-star that maybe isn't at that Success Club 20, but you want to make a push. We're calling this one Push for the Stars, because I'm going to be real honest with you. If you're only hitting Success Club 10 and you're a Diamond or a 1-star, your chance for elite is very slim. But I'm going to get you in this group, and I'm going to make you get your numbers up so that you have a chance to go elite. I can't really like guarantee that you will, but I can put you in a group that's going to make you increase your numbers and get on a path to have a chance at elite, if that makes sense. So the one that is 2-star plus, that group is $800 a month. The one that is Diamond to 2-star is $600 a month. Okay. Either one of those groups are both by application only. So what I need you to do is go to joshcoates.com, shoot us a message through the website. Easiest way to do it actually would be, I'll put it here in the thing, info@joshcoates.com. And we can give you the full details there. The one that's 2-star and higher, I'm partnering with my buddy Sarah Try, who actually does the funnel and ads for Micah Folsom, for Mindy Winder, for some other people. We're actually going to split the group into 2 calls with me. That's all about bringing the push, bringing the leadership, bringing the recruiting. 2 calls with Sarah. That's going to be about building a recruiting funnel so that you have ongoing success. Some of you, this happens in the company all the time. Angie's smarter than this. Thankfully, she's put some money into like building some good shit. There's a lot of people in this company. They run themselves to the ground going elite, and they don't do it again because the work and energy it takes to do it on your own is too much to do it over and over and over and over. The people who do it over and over and over are the people who develop funnels, systems, automations, and they have a way of bringing people in on autopilot so they can do the stuff they need to do. So we're going to actually teach you that in the group that's for 2-star and above. We're literally going to have 2 calls a month where we're teaching you how to do that so that you can have ongoing success. So it's like elite and beyond, if you will. Okay? So I've gone for 7 hours. Angie, I'm going to hand it back to you, let you close up. Thank you so much for giving me the freedom to just like do my thing. I appreciate that so much.
You had me fully captivated for over an hour, and that doesn't happen, just so you know. And you guys, I really did say, so Josh, I don't know if you know this, whenever people talk on the call that are outside the coaching world, I ask them not to pitch I say, I understand that you have a thing, but please don't pitch your thing.
Yeah.
You guys, I literally told him, I said, can you pitch all of your stuff? So I'm on his email list, and he sent an email. I just went and looked for it. It said Elite Guaranteed. And I voice memoed his fan page, and he just so happened to check his fan page because he has like a system, like he's going to teach you guys, that answers it for him, which if that sounds gibberish to you, do you know that there's like a robot that can answer your messages for you? So it wasn't him. It wasn't his robot. It was him. And he goes, oh my God, I caught your message. Thank God. Cause I voice memoed. I said, holy shit, can you please do a team call on this? And it was Elite Guaranteed, but basically I can't guarantee you have to kick down the door. So all of this timing was very serendipitous. And can I close out by sharing something that you guys don't know? So yesterday or like a day and a half ago, a lot of you guys know Andre and I have had this goal since before we're coaches to buy a house in Disney World in Golden Oaks. It's like the most prestigious neighborhood. It's hard to get in. And we've been talking about it forever. The one lot that we want, I get a phone call from the realtor saying, there's another couple looking at your lot. So this $5 million house that we've been looking at, the urgency just got fucking real. So do you want to know the amount of work that Andre and I have done in the past day and a half? It is astronomical. And so the reason why I share this is I saw a lot of comments when Josh was talking about like the house is on fire and if you're going to sign up 5 people before midnight. And a lot of you guys were still talking about, I'm going to figure out how to grow my network, and I'm going to read a book, and I'm going to listen to a podcast. Do you think that I've listened to one fucking podcast in the last day and a half? Do you think that I hopped on a wake-up call? Do you think that I Googled how to do I message? That's why I said message every fucking human. I built more systems. I built an entire new challenge group in the last day. Like the amount of shit that you can do in 24 hours is insane. But I just feel like the timing of this is so, and so the ending of that story will be left to you guys. I can't divulge anything just yet, but so much is possible when you have urgency. So the timing of this was very beautiful and very emotional. I think that this hit home with a lot of you guys. So just so you know, I fully back everything that he's sharing. I think that if you're 2-star and above, do it. Because I know that the reason why, just so you know, there were groups that said, who the fuck is this Josh Coates guy? That Melissa's, do you know Melissa McAllister's on this call?
No, I didn't know. Hi, Melissa.
So I messaged her. I was like,
she's one of the few that gave me a chance when everybody else was hating on me.
No, so it was literally like, so my first top 10 trip, I was the one that didn't know anything. So I was like, you guys, who is this Josh Coates guy? And so the years go on, and then this trip, I get to meet Sammy. Have you worked with Sammy? Because she has nothing but great things to say about you. Glowneck.
If I did, it must have been in a group. I haven't in a one-on-one setting.
She has like just she's Jamie Innes's sister.
Oh, okay.
Like the best things to say. So I'm like,
oh.
Okay, so like this guy's for real. Like things are happening. So I hope that you guys realize that this is legit. I always say this. I take everything that the McAllisters say as gospel. Do it. It's like a lot of success saying when you just say do it, just do it. So I believe in that, and that's why. Like I truly, whenever you said like you have a certain amount of spots left for like the 2-stars that are actually running, I'm like thinking that and I'm like, oh my God, I hope they do it, because it's everything to a lot of people, and sometimes you just need that accountability of someone like you're saying, what have you done lately?
Yeah.
So I love it all. That was an amazing call. Thank you so much.
Cool. Well, if you message me about the 2-star and up group, because I've only got like 3, maybe 4 spots left. I'd have to look at my spreadsheet. Please say, hey, Angie's homegirl here messaging about the elite group. I've already told you the price. It's $800 a month. There's a price break for paying up front, okay? It's not on the website because it's by application only. So email me. And actually, let me say this. If you are 2-star or plus that you want to grab one of those spots, hit me up at josh@joshcoates.com. I'm not actually logged into my other one. That's my assistant. Hit me up, josh@joshcoates.com. Say, hey, here's what you have to do, though. You have to be 2-star or higher, and you have to be a Success Club 20 or more performer for that group. Now, if you're lower than 20, you can still get into my other group. That's for the diamond to 2-star level. You can get into that group with any numbers because, again, the point of that group is going to be to help you boost those numbers. But in order to get into the one that is the only 3 spots left, you have to be a Success Club 20 plus earner to get into that. So if you're one of those people, shoot me a message, josh@joshcoates.com. I'll get you. I'm about to go on date night with the girl, so it'll be a little bit later tonight. But I will make sure that you get like taken care of like ASAP. Sound good?
I love it so much.
And then I want to come like hang with you at a like retreat at like Disney at your new $5 million house.
You will more than be invited.
Okay, cool.
Thank you so much. Yeah, Melissa's like, me too. Yes, Melissa, I got you. Also, I'm so curious to know who from corporate is on this call. I tried message. Yeah, beachbody.com/Zoom/ yeah, I'm calling you out because I want to know who is on. So Josh, they're watching you. All right. Thanks, you guys. Thank you so much, Josh. Enjoy date night. Thank you for taking the time for us. We'll see you guys later.